60. It's Mark Schulman here with Jake.
The best. Mark gets to do his own introductions. He's so amazing. Guys, we're so excited.
Well, I just, I want you guys to make sure you know who I am. You know who he is. If you're on the site, you know who he is. Well, we're here to talk about, I did a segment on how to develop one's internal sense of time, the mastery of your internal sense of time. And the segment we did was all about clapping. The initial thing is being able to clap at all of these different tempos for 1 minute and cancel out the sound of the click track because you're so synchronized you can't hear the click. So the extension of that, after you do that, and you might do that for months because you're starting at 120, you're going all the way down to 30 and all the way up to 240. To be able to do that for 1 minute is no small feat, is it, Jake?
No kidding. Oh, man.
So that was playing at 60. And 60 is slow.
It is.
Let's face it.
Yep.
Especially if you're a teenager with lots of hormones and angst. And I know you're watching. So the idea is if you can play slow and articulately, you can play quickly. So I just want to give you a few examples of what I did, and you can use these only examples, and you can use your own examples after that. The critical thing is being able to get comfortable playing very simple grooves, very simple fills, and the transitions, because the transitions are where people tend to rush or slow down. So we're just going to give you a few examples of what I had done. We're going to start at 120 beats per minute, which is the pedestrian tempo. That is kind of the easiest tempo. Between 110 and 120 is where most people can, if you're going to be able to lock with a click, even if you're not that comfortable with it, you'll be able to do it at that tempo. So we're going to start with 120. I'm going to play some few simple patterns, then a few fills, and then start making it a little bit more complex and also show you the transitions because the transitions are critical as what we talked about already. So let's do 120. So that's a simple fill with a simple pattern. Now, if I change the bass drum pattern ever so slightly, you know these patterns are very, very simple, but that changes your body's position and how your body feels the time. So going to this pattern now, you're going to feel that time slightly differently, and people don't realize that. They're so simple, but they imply something very different. And even when you're playing a rock groove, like the boom, tick, boom, boom, tick, that's kind of a country groove, where it's like boom, tick, boom, boom, is more of a driving rock groove. So your body feels it differently. So I want you to practice just simply going between those two grooves. Notice I play every groove, not like I'm practicing, like I'm on the stage.
Come on.
I want you to play it in what I call real time. Because sometimes we sit in our practice room, we're like, get on the stage, you go, what happened? Well, because you weren't playing it.
Yes.
I want you to play every note like it matters, even in your practice room. Okay, let's slow it down. I want to do the same pattern. Let's go down to 70. Let's make it challenging, because 60 would just be half of 120. We'll go down to 70. Happen is, it seems very simple. When you start getting to those slow tempos, you're going to notice all the space between those bass drums. Let's go down to 50.
Ooh, all right.
Because as you start to, and you can do this more gradually, but as you notice, when you get into these slower tempos, all of a sudden what were simple fills Now to feel all of that space becomes more complex for you. Let's try it. When you didn't hear that click.
Yes.
And it's a feeling. It's almost like you're flying through the air. It's almost mystical when all of a sudden you're burying that click. And you notice, I started smiling at a point because part of me, I want you to enjoy these exercises. And I realize that if you take it from a position of love and enjoyment as opposed to, oh my God, this is going to be so hard, it's going to be so challenging, it's so slow, it's going to suck if you approach it that way. And my thing is like, I'm a rocker. I like to have fun. I like to party. But partying isn't in the substance. It's in the attitude. So the more you enjoy what you're doing, the more you're going to practice it. And the more you're going to feel love and groove in that. And then you're just making music. And then it's like, oh, this is so much fun. So the next part of this is, now we're going to try some fills. We're going to keep it at 50. I'm going to challenge myself. Woo. Good thing I didn't have more coffee.
Yeah,
every time I'm more coffee, I'm like, the caffeine would have set me off. So the challenge tends to happen in the transitions.
Right.
You play the groove, you get used to the groove, start getting excited, you go to play the fill, you rush the fill, you come back into the groove, and it slows down.
Yeah.
So the transitions are what is critical. So I'm going to play some time, and then I'm going to play a very simple fill. And then I'm going to play time and fill. I'm going to go back and forth. We'll just give you one example. These are just one of infinite examples that I want you to be able to try on your own. And remember, it's about the transition. Okay? I purposely set up three different styles. Of fills. One was just very simple duck, gut, duck, duck, gut, duck, like 1 E, 2 E, and then I wanted you to be able to play 1 E and with the bass drum. Then I started creating fills that had space, duck, gut, gut, duck, because all these kinds of fills are really, really critical. And you'll notice you're going to play certain kinds of fills. You're just going to rush, or you're just going to slow down.
Yes.
And your body adjusts on its own. That's the beautiful thing. It's almost like you can play that fill over and over. And let's try that. I'm going to try to find a fill that is awkward for me. And I'm going to play it over and over until my body adjusts. Let's see. Felt more and more comfortable. And as it feels more and more comfortable, guess what? I play it with more conviction, and then I'm really playing it. So now I'm going to go a little crazy and try a fill that's probably going to challenge me. I hope it challenges me because I want it to mess me up and then be able to do it later. Okay? Like that stuff gets really challenging. And now let's go into what an interesting thing about this actually is sometimes the faster the fills or the faster the breakdown, if you're doing 30 seconds, it might almost be easier because you're filling more space. So I'm going to try playing some 30-second note fills now. But I'm going to go back into the groove. Actually, I've tended to rush. I tended to rush a little bit. Some of you might tend to drag. But the beautiful thing is it forces me to articulate those fills so evenly. Because then when you speed up, you really have a lot of... You have a lot more articulation because if you're playing very slowly, and that is the power of really slowing things down, getting the transitions, trying slow grooves, transitioning between fills and grooves and back. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. info@markschulman.com, markschulman.com. Peace out.
Come on,
from
man.
Jake. 180 drums, yes.